Vibe is at the next year, I'm out.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis, the undefeated king of the lightweight division, stunned the boxing world at the press conference for his upcoming fight against Lamont Roach. The bombshell? Tank announced his retirement after just one more fight. The announcement came as a surprise to many, especially with Tank in his prime and on top of the sport. But what really stole the show wasn't just Tank's shocking statement, it was the heated response from Floyd Mayweather, who's been a major figure in Tank's career. Floyd didn't hold back, calling out Tank for avoiding top-tier opponents like Shocker Stevenson, Devin Haney, and Keyshawn Davis. With the press conference sparking drama, the big question is whether Tank is really done with boxing or if Floyd is exposing something deeper. The press conference, set up to hype up the March 1st, 2025 showdown between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, started off as expected. Fans filled the room, cameras rolled, and the usual trash talk seemed inevitable. But this event quickly turned into a spectacle. Tank was ready to make a statement, but no one could have predicted how the situation would unfold. In a dramatic moment, Tank let loose about his future in boxing. "You better leave the females home. On my mother, you better leave the kids at home," Tank said in the heat of the moment, signaling that the drama was about to escalate. Tank reflected on his long journey in boxing, his body taking a toll after years of fighting. The passion was still there, but so was the exhaustion. "We've been in it so long that we're getting tired," Tank admitted, hinting at the possibility of walking away. Lamont Roach didn't shy away from the back and forth either, making it clear that he wasn't intimidated by Tank. He mocked Tank's previous opponent Frank Martin, claiming Martin was too nervous and inexperienced. Roach was adamant that he bring a new level of intensity to the ring. "I'm always looking for a knockout. If I get the chance, I'm going to knock his head off," Roach boldly stated, adding more fuel to the fiery press conference. But it was Tank's announcement that he planned to retire after the fight that sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Fans, pundits, and analysts were left stunned by the idea of one of the sport's brightest stars calling it quits at the peak of his career. "How you retiring?" a reporter asked in disbelief. Tank, in his usual calm demeanor, explained that the grind of boxing had taken its toll. The physical demands, the constant pressure, and the years spent in the gym were all starting to feel overwhelming. "It'd be situations like just now. Like when he talking, it sparks the plug again," Tank explained, implying that the trash talk had reignited his competitive fire. When Floyd Mayweather caught wind of Tank's retirement announcement, he didn't mince his words. Floyd, who had been a mentor and promoter for Tank for years, was clearly upset. "Tank's in his prime right now," Floyd said. "He's talking about retirement, but he hasn't faced the top guys like Shocker Stevenson, Devin Haney, or Keyshawn Davis." Floyd's frustration was palpable as he accused Tank of ducking tough challenges and trying to protect his undefeated record. "He's ducking these big names," Floyd continued. "Why is he walking away before facing these challenges?" Floyd also implied that Tank was avoiding the tough fights in order to preserve his perfect record, which would become increasingly difficult to maintain as he faced the best in the division. "Tank's running from legacy-defining fights," Floyd charged. "This is an insult to the sport." For Floyd, Tank's decision to retire felt like a betrayal, especially considering that he had helped build Tank's career from the ground up. The tension between Floyd and Tank has been growing for years. While Floyd once saw Tank as his successor, the heir to the Money Mayweather throne, Tank was always a bit more independent. As Floyd pushed Tank to build his legacy, Tank began to carve his own path. The two had a falling out when Tank left Mayweather Promotions in 2023, and their relationship has become more strained since. Floyd, who has always taken pride in his role as Tank's mentor, started to feel disrespected by Tank's repeated shots at him on social media. "I've always been there for Tank from day one," Floyd said, "but over the years he's constantly taken shots at me. He's been disrespectful, and I've always been respectful, trying to help him reach his full potential." Floyd's words reflected years of frustration with Tank's rebellious attitude and constant public criticisms. Tank, however, wasn't shy about speaking his mind. "Floyd don't feel like I'm about to pass him, but that's exactly what's happening," Tank said. "I'm doing it at a younger age, and I'm doing it bigger. This attitude is part of the reason why Tank left Mayweather Promotions." Floyd had big plans for Tank, envisioning him as the future face of boxing. But Tank wanted more autonomy, more control over his own career, and he wasn't going to let Floyd call all the shots. As for Floyd's anger over Tank's possible retirement, He wasn't just upset about Tank stepping away from boxing. He was upset because Tank had yet to face the true challenges in the sport. Fighters like Shocker Stevenson, Devin Haney, and Keyshawn Davis all represent the next generation of boxing talent, and Floyd feels that Tank's avoidance of these matchups is a missed opportunity to cement his legacy. Floyd's reaction didn't stop at words. He went further, attacking Tank's claim that he was retiring. Floyd felt like Tank was throwing away an opportunity to solidify his place in boxing history by refusing to face the top contenders. Floyd went so far as to say that Tank's refusal to fight Stevenson or Haney made him look like he was avoiding real competition, preferring to keep his undefeated record intact rather than risk the possibility of a loss. Shocker Stevenson, who has been calling out Tank for years, wasn't shy about expressing his frustration. "Man, your beef ain't with Floyd," Stevenson said in an interview. "You're out here beefing with Floyd when there's a fighter calling your name, ready to fight you." Stevenson's words echoed the sentiments of many fans who have been clamoring for this fight to happen. Tank and Stevenson would be a stylistic clash for the ages. Tank's explosive power against Stevenson's defensive genius. It's a matchup that fans have wanted for years, but Tank has seemed reluctant to take the challenge. Floyd, meanwhile, is now training with some of Tank's biggest rivals. He's been seen working with Stevenson in the gym, imparting new tricks and techniques. Floyd's willingness to help Shocker has fueled rumors that he's switching sides, showing more loyalty to Stevenson than to Tank. This new alliance has only intensified the bad blood between Floyd and Tank. Tank clearly feels betrayed by Floyd's support of other fighters, especially since he once saw Floyd as a father figure. But Tank's enemies aren't just limited to Stevenson. Keyshawn Davis, another rising star in boxing, has been calling out Tank for a fight. Davis, who has recently gained momentum after a knockout win over Gustavo Lemos, has the skills to be a serious threat to Tank. With Floyd in his corner, Keyshawn is becoming an even more dangerous opponent. Davis is confident, cocky, and hungry, and many believe he could be the one to pull off an upset against Tank. Davis isn't chasing Tank, he's confident that his time will come, and he'll make his money whether Tank fights him or not. With all the drama surrounding Tank's possible retirement, fans are wondering whether he will stick to his word or reconsider. The stakes are high, and the boxing world is divided. Will Tank retire undefeated, or will he give in to the pressure and face the big names that could define his legacy? Only time will tell. Then, of course, there's Devin Haney, who currently holds all the lightweight titles. If Tank is serious about leaving the sport without regrets, a showdown with Haney could be the ultimate test. Haney, known for his size and technical ability, would be a tough challenge for Tank. The fight between Tank and Haney would be a clash of styles, and the stakes couldn't be higher. It could be the defining fight of Tank's career, but will he take the risk? Floyd, too, has suggested that this is the fight that Tank needs to prove himself. Meanwhile, Lamont Roach is quietly preparing for what could be an upset of the century. Roach, while not as famous as Tank or his other challengers, has the skills to make Tank's life difficult in the ring. With slick defense, a sharp jab, and the ability to switch from counterpunching to pressure, Roach has the potential to surprise. And if Tank were to lose, it would make his retirement announcement even more bitter. Tank can't retire undefeated if Roach defeats him, and that loss could haunt his legacy. Whatever happens next in the Tank Davis saga, one thing is certain: this is far from over. Floyd's not the type to let things slide, and Tank has clearly grown tired of following Floyd's rules. Whether Tank will retire after his 2025 fight with Roach or reconsider his decision will depend on many factors, including the pressure from his fans, his desire to preserve his undefeated record, and his relationship with Floyd Mayweather. The drama between them is just beginning.